Now as foreign minister, should I just go and be clicking champagne glasses with my colleagues all over the world, or do something with diplomacy? So I called my close staff. I had two special advisors, and Professor Jide Oshuntoku, who was then at the University of Lagos. I had then Dr. George Obiozo, who was in NIIA, he was a senior fellow there. Later became Professor George Obiozo. And I told him what I wanted to do, gave them the directive, and got them to flesh out a good memo for me. So I took the memo to the president and said to him, sir, we needed to change the foreign policy thrust of our country from purely political affairs to economic affairs, and showed him how doing so would support our SAP. And he bought into it. So I came back and we drafted it. Nice address with members of my ministry. That's Foreign Affairs now. And then went on to a Saturday, 30th June, I think it was, of that year. And the NIIA, I invited the diplomatic corps, so on, and unveiled Nigeria's new foreign policy thrust. And then in the ministry, restructured my ministry, and then had economic desks in every mission that I had anywhere in the world.
In the embassy?
Yes.
High Commission?
Yes, the embassies and so.
You had economic desks there. They didn't exist before that?
No, they didn't. So we now recruited young men and young women who are economists and so on, who also understood trade, and posted them there. And their job, and the job of the mission then, all my mission was to ensure that they brought businesses and investments into Nigeria. And we were able to support IBB's SAP.
This was how the non-oil sector front at that time.
Yes, indeed. And to practicalize it, anytime I was going on an official visit anywhere, I took with me a number of business people, men and women. And anytime the president was going on a visit, in his entourage, official entourage, were business people. So I had the Antatas, the Shonekons, the Siodos, all the big business people joining me and as our delegation. And so when we met, they were there in official capacity, not as private business people. So they helped us in fashioning out questions to ask, looking through agreements to sign, and then we opened doors for them to do their businesses.
And created opportunities, platforms for them to do international.
MK Abiola is also
benefited from.
They come along with us at the time, yes. It was only fair, because, like I said, we as young officers had no say. It's what the senior ones who made decisions said that we followed. So if any group should be punished, those are senior officers who took us to war on both sides. And are the ones that should.
They're the ones that should.
Not the young officers who are commanded to go to war.
We're just obeying orders.
Indeed. So.
Okay. I also want to thank you on behalf of.
Now, before you go on, as foreign minister, because you said you interviewed Emeka Anyaoku, right?
Yes, Emeka Anyaoku.
It was me that made that possible.
Oh, for him to serve as Secretary-General?
Yes. At the time, the fifth tenure of Sir Shivdat Ramphal, who was the Commonwealth Secretary-General from Guyana, was running out, and he wanted to run again. I told President Babangida that it was time. We fielded someone to take that job. And we zeroed on Emeka Anyaoku. Members of my ministry, the senior ones who were his colleagues, weren't happy about it.
Oh, why?
Why not them?
Oh, I get it.
So I had to go to London, to Marlborough House, the Commonwealth Secretariat. I saw Shivdat Ramphal and told him that my mission was to let him know that we're not supporting him to go for another term. And we're putting up Emeka Anyaoku. And he was like...
The incumbent Secretary-General at the time?
Yes. And he wanted to go again. So I told him that Nigeria would not support him to go for a re-election because, I mean, he's been there for close to 20 years.
Wow.
His direction was, does Emeka know about this? And I said, no, Emeka didn't know about it at the time. So we called him, and then Emeka came. And then I said the same thing again. And his reaction was, well, if my boss is not running, then I'll run. But if he's running, then he wasn't run. Diplomatic and the right thing to say. So we embarked on the campaign for him and went around the entire world, the Commonwealth countries. In the end, we got him elected as the Commonwealth Secretary-General. Same for Obasanjo. He ran for UN Secretary-General.
Obasanjo?
Yes. And we took him. He was at the same time when we're campaigning for Emeka Anyaoku. No, campaigning for him.
For Obasanjo. Oh.
So in the end, Emeka got elected, and Obasanjo was vetoed by the powers that be.
But he was vetoed out.
So Boutros Ghali became
the UN Secretary-General at the time. I remember the name.
So maybe just to add that.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. And even as foreign minister, Nigeria played roles then for the end of apartheid.
Oh yes.
You were active in the
I and my team represent Babangida in the country, and did a lot to end apartheid in South Africa.
You want to share some of the best kept secrets of how you achieved this? Again, Nigeria played very vital role.
We were a frontline state. The frontline states were those countries around South Africa, but we were in West Africa. But being Nigeria, the biggest black, and we got involved. We were so much in it, so we were made the 6th member of the frontline states, and we contributed, went to a number of places to fight for the Commonwealth and the non-aligned movement in OAU, as it were, everywhere. Nigeria's voice was clear that within, and we were chairman of the anti-apartheid committee of the UN at the time. So my PAM rep, General Joseph Garba, played a major role also there. So we eventually ended apartheid, but not before we invited the Klerk, President de Klerk of South Africa, to Abuja.
De Klerk came? Mm-hmm. He came to Nigeria?
Mm-hmm. No, I first went to South Africa. I saw his the foreign minister, somebody called Pick-Bota. Convinced them that they just must ship grounds, that the black people will not throw them out of South Africa. Now that we're there to make sure that didn't happen. And so he then came. Pick-Bota first came to Nigeria to visit me in Abuja. Went back to South Africa. Then we now invited de Klerk. He and his wife came to Abuja, and we hosted them. Babangida did, he and his wife, on behalf of Nigeria. And that's when we sealed it. And he was completely committed.
So it was in Abuja he got
was
convinced to put an end to apartheid.
Completely, yes.
If he didn't agree, what Nigeria would have done?
Well, then the struggle will continue.
Thank you so much. I really want to thank you for. I mean, you've done a lot for Nigeria, a lot for Africa, and then I still maintain. I mean, it's very amazing the work you did as foreign minister.
No, you forgot that ECOMOG also.
ECOMOG. Oh yes, that was your time.
Yes, of course.
ECOMOG, Liberia, Sierra Leone.
Yes.
Oh, that's true. Very true.
Absolutely. So I did all of those for our country.
If you don't mind, can we talk about ECOMOG?
Yes.
That was the proudest time to be a Nigerian.
Then they asked a question, then I'll
It was
answer.
the proudest time to ever be a Nigerian.
Yes, indeed.
Please talk to us about the.
No, well, we had the Biafran. Not Biafra. We had the Liberian problem, and Babangida, who was my president, thought it was the right thing to do to talk to J.J. Rawlings, the president of Ghana, and between the two of them, they collaborated and formed ECOMOG. Then we stepped into Liberia, and I was foreign minister, and so all the fighting. So I went to visit our troops in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, so many times. I'm a soldier now, so
yes.
So I was just not a civilian foreign minister. I was a military foreign minister. So we went and the fighting. Lots of people got killed on both sides. In the end, we achieved peace in Liberia, thanks to the foresight of Babangida and J.J. Rawlings. Then later, the other heads of like Yadema, of Togo, Conte of Guinea. They all rallied, and that's how we're able to bring peace to that country. Yes. I was a foreign minister who was there
driving it.
And our force commanders then during my time were late General Dogonyaro.
Oh, I remember the name.
Late General Bakut, Zaya Bakut. Late General Kupolati. Then later, late General Malu.
Yeah, that's the one I remember more. Malu, General.
And Olurin. And also General Olurin.
Professor Patu told me his analysis of the end of Liberian War mentions that after everything that Nigeria had put in to win peace in Liberia and restore peace or stability in Sierra Leone,
right,
that at a point when Liberia was eventually returning to civilian government, the Nigerian was not there to take glory. He said America was riding in front.
Yes, indeed. Most unfortunately.
Why did we lose out?
No, why did we lose out?
Taking our own glory, taking our own feathers.
It wasn't our fault.
Okay.
The Liberians and the UN then came in to say they were mediating, all right? And then they saw through the elections. So at the point of the handover, it was the US and the UN and us, Nigeria and Ghana and so on, that sent troops there, and so many died. Why not given the proper recognition?
We're not giving. That's sad though. We're not, after everything we invested, lives lost.
Yes, indeed.
In the end, we're not giving recognition for what we did.
Indeed. But we ought to ask for it. I'd left at the time.
Okay.
I was no longer
the foreign minister. I believe that your days as foreign minister gave Nigeria a lot of pride. Your time as foreign minister was one of the proudest moments for Nigeria. All right? It was the period that we saw in Nigeria emerge as Secretary-General of the Commonwealth, saw a Nigerian run for the office of UN Secretary-General.
And almost got it.
And almost got it. But
But for the fact that...
for the veto, he was vetoed out.
And there's a joke there. There's a joke that... that those that didn't want him said they didn't want a general secretary, but a secretary-general.
Yeah, makes sense. They didn't want a general secretary. They wanted a secretary-general. All right, okay. And then it was also a period that Nigeria actively won the end of the apartheid regime in South Africa. I mean, it's even prouder moment for me right now, getting to understand that it was in Abuja that the Klerk got convinced completely to put an end to the apartheid regime. And then it was also the period that Nigeria led ECOMOG, from the ECOMOG, brought peace to Liberia, brought peace to the sub-region. So it was a period that Nigeria really played active roles internationally and pioneered economic diplomacy.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much.
Which is today
it's a big thing
in the world. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm really proud and honored to be sitting with you this moment. Thank you so much. Sir.
Thank you for asking me. Thank you for asking me. I hope I didn't bore you, but we told you some stories about our country. You know, well, Nigeria is a great country, but some of us don't seem to realize that, and some of us in authority don't seem to realize that, especially in this political era. Present political era, not the old generation, because they fought for Nigeria and fought for the black race. But we should be fighting for the black race. We should be doing things that would place not only Nigeria, but the black race at the pedestal we should be. And for as long as we are not doing that, would the other races make us their footstools? We need to restructure Nigeria back to the vision of the founding fathers. Restructuring doesn't mean separation. It means everybody use your resources to build your place up. Pay taxes to the federal government, and the federal government will look after the overall defense of the territorial integrity of Nigeria. So that's what it should be. And if we did that, all this struggle to be president wouldn't be there. Because if you're in your state and you have your own resources, you run your own show, what do you care about who is the president in Nigeria?
That's true. That's true.
What,
you care more for your locality.
Exactly. And if you can improve your locality to a high standard, and I could do that, everything does that in a place, then
collectively
we are out there.
We all improve. Yes, sir. I agree with you. I agree. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I pray that we will live in the Nigeria of your dream.
Amen.
And that we will see it.
Amen.
I want to once again thank you for your efforts, your sacrifices. I look forward to your memoirs. And what you have shared with us today, I want to believe that it is going to serve as important instruction for those who lead our country today and in the future to give birth to the country of our dreams. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
thank you for being here.